Welcome to Getting Real with John Natale. I'm John Natale, your host today for episode 30 here of Getting Real. And today, guys, we are talking a post-NAR settlement world. I'm going to briefly walk you through what's happened, a couple of the big changes, and what I foresee in our market across the country, in our industry, what is going to happen in a post-NAR settlement world. Before we dive into that, though, today, I have to take a minute to thank you for listening to this episode. I am so damn appreciative of you listening and or watching right now. And honestly, your support here of Getting Real is helping us change lives. It's helping us redesign the real estate industry. That is our grand mission here at Natale and here at Getting Real. Less agents to fail, more agents to find the life of their dream. It's behind everything that I am doing, from my content to our real estate company here in New Jersey, to our coaching company across the nation, to this podcast. Everything is designed to redesign the real estate industry. We're just getting started, and we want you to be a part of it if you want to be a part of it. If you listen to this podcast all the time, you consume a lot of the content I put out there. I want you to come join our Natale family. If you're here in New Jersey, we have a dynamic real estate company. We are about to announce one of the biggest changes in the Jersey Shore and New Jersey landscape when it comes to real estate professionals here in New Jersey. If you want to know what that announcement is going to be, find the link below, set up a meeting with me, and let's start discussing it now. If you are across the country, if you're in one of the other 49 states, or even international at this point, if you are interested in growing your brand, growing your business, and growing your life, we have an unbelievable coaching company for you to join. A great family of agents. We are over 30 agents in our Natale family now, all across the country, growing together, growing our brands, sharing what's working, getting my individual help or one of our Natale coaches' individual help to grow their business and grow their life. It's what we're all about. We're changing lives. And if you want to become part of it, there's a link below to set up a completely free meeting with me. I'm not going to charge you $1 to meet with me and discuss some of your options, discuss where you want to be, and discuss how we can help you get there. If you could take a minute to share this podcast episode, drop it into your story, share it on social media, share it with a friend, I would be even more appreciative of you. This is an important episode. This is a really important conversation that we're having. I'm definitely bringing the conversation forward in my content. And in this episode, I'm going to break down a lot of my thoughts towards everything that I've seen these past few weeks. And as we are now in a post-NAR settlement world, it has not been finalized. I'm filming this episode at the very end of March, early April. It will probably be released next week. Things could change rather dramatically in even a 5 or 6 day period. However, as of right now, we have the NAR settlement was announced by NAR and the judge. It has not been approved by the judge. The DOJ has not weighed in. I'm going to give some thoughts on that. However, I'm going to show you kind of what I foresee happening as we move forward here in this post-NAR settlement world. The real estate industry is about to change. It's about to change dramatically. Whether we like the changes or not, it is going to change. And that's one thing, no matter where you are in your career, whether you're brand new, you've been doing this for 3 years, you've been doing this for 10 years, you've been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years, no matter what, it's about to change. And here's where I want to lead the conversation. Change is opportunity. Stop being fearful of change. As much as I don't like what was settled, I'm excited for it because now you can innovate so much more. When there is change, there is opportunity to do something different. And that's why I am amped up by everything that's happening, and you should be too. It could be a little nerve-wracking, especially with the amount of attack that's on our industry, on our job. We have the President of the United States calling on all real estate professionals to lower their commissions, to say that we've never been negotiable. So much false information is out there, and even at the highest levels of government, it's coming out. Our industry is under attack, so it could feel nerve-wracking right now. However, what I want you to start picturing is what 2026 looks like, what 2027 looks like, what 2032 looks like, and start having some long-term vision of what your business could be in these changes. So today I'm going to start prepping you for them, because no matter what we want or agree, there is no doubt that commissions are under attack, and the value proposition you have as an agent needs to get better. It's not that you don't work hard. It's not that I don't work hard. hard, or your best friend in the industry doesn't work hard. We all work so damn hard for our clients. We want our clients to win. We always do what we can, negotiate our commissions, do what we have to do to make a deal work. Every single person I know that's been in this industry for at least a year has a story where they did whatever they had to do to get a deal done to get their client into a home. However, our actual proposition to people of what we do and how we show it has to change. That's the bottom line. Where that is, you're going to see so many agents who are unwilling to change. And that is your opportunity, guys. So look at this in a positive mindset. That's where this conversation is going to go. We're going to stretch it pretty far and pretty wide here. We're going to talk about what exactly is settled, the two biggest changes, what I kind of foresee, who gets hurt, who gets helped. All of it is going to be in this episode. But I want you to start in a place where this is going to be positive for you. This is going to be an opportunity for you to be a better agent, a better real estate professional. I don't care if you're going to have a realtor designation 2 years from now. That doesn't matter. That doesn't make you who you are. You are licensed through your state to help people buy and sell real estate, and you will always be able to do that. And so let's look at this like opportunity and really break it down. Let's start talking about what exactly NAR settled with. So they settled one of the cases which will supersede all other cases, copycat lawsuits we've saw over the last few months across the country. And basically, they agreed to a massive payout of $418 million over the next 4 years, and they agreed to two big changes. Now, they agreed to other ones, but the two biggest where people are either the most worried or the issues that are most discussed. Number one is that compensation for a buyer's agent can no longer be listed in the MLS. And number two, a buyer's agency agreement must be signed by a buyer and a buying brokerage before a buyer goes through and tours homes with an agent. I'm not going to dive into the specifics of the actual lawsuit. There's so much content out there. I want to just start getting positive about where we are going and what to kind of do about it. So those two big changes are pretty massive ones. Right now, it is very convenient because the MLS lists the buyer's agency commission. It is not saying that the buyer's agent can't be compensated in their agreement and their settlement. However, I want everybody, and again, this is unknown at this point, the judge hasn't signed off on it, and the DOJ hasn't chimed in. So the Department of Justice is also going after NAR and their practices. I personally feel, and I could be completely wrong on this, I personally feel the DOJ knows NAR with the settlement is basically, quote unquote, down on their knees right now. And they're going to push, because they've been pushing for this all along, for commissions to be completely decoupled. They believe that if commissions are completely decoupled, so that means the seller pays the seller's agent, the buyer completely pays the buyer's agent, commissions will come down and expenses will come down for consumers. All of us in the industry know that that's not true. We know that the ones who actually need the help will no longer be able to afford it. They will go unrepresented, and then they will lose eventually because they have no representation. We all know this. This is not good for consumers. And this isn't just not good for consumers because it's good for us. This is just not good when you actually look at how the industry works and how home buying works. However, I do feel that the DOJ is going to chime in and say, okay, glad you made a settlement. However, it doesn't go far enough. We want to completely decouple them because they've been saying that from the beginning for years now. So let's go in the world where no matter what, it won't be listed on the MLS. However, there's a possibility that a buyer outright will not be able to just be offered a commission for their agent by the seller. So as of right now, what this could look like is, okay, I have a buyer for 123 Main Street. I reach out to the agent. They let me know in their listing agreement that 2.5% was offered as compensation. So in that case, nothing really changes, right? It's just not on the MLS. However, it's not going to work like that in practice. That's just not an efficient way of business. There's no real way in which I see there being a loophole or a workaround. I see so many people posting just ridiculous things. Oh, it'll just go on their website. So now we're going to go from having an MLS, being a member of NAR and all these other associations, to now having to hunt down when it's a Keller Williams listing, I got to go on KW.com. And then when it's a RE/MAX listing, I go to RE/MAX just to see what the compensation is. That's never going to happen. It's never going to go into ShowingTime either. ShowingTime is owned by Zillow. This much is clear. If you haven't listened to any of my content, it is going to be the Zillow tech companies of the world, and it is going to be the real estate professionals actually out there protecting the consumers. That's where this is going. So the people that keep commenting, oh, just put it in ShowingTime, everyone uses ShowingTime. Why would we put all of our trust and all of our business and all of our compensation listed into ShowingTime that is owned by Zillow? That makes zero sense. So that's never going to happen. And also, only about 30% of agents even use ShowingTime. So what are you going to do for the other 70% that don't? And listen, I completely get hoping for some sort of, workaround, or we're going to figure this out. However, the reality of what this becomes is the seller is always going to compensate the seller's agent. And I personally feel in sellers markets, so if your market is a very heavy seller's market, ours is here in New Jersey, there's not a lot of inventory, bare minimum new construction, just a very, very, just wildly seller's market still. In those markets, there's a very good chance sellers are going to look around and say, I have 15 offers. Why am I offering compensation? Let them pay themselves. In a balanced market or a buyer's market, I don't think much of anything is going to change because it's still a great idea to offer out compensation to help you find a buyer. That's what the value of offering compensation from the beginning was. We've just been in a very heavy seller's market. People are pissed off at the housing market, and they're finding an opportunity to say, well, look at this 2.5%, 3%. The average home's $400,000. That's $12,000. That's ridiculous. Where we know that's not the actual thing that happens. So what I foresee happening is in those buyer and / balance markets, the MLS will get taken off, and you'll have to figure it out. It will start to work more like commercial. Where commercial, they have listing agreements, and there's a lot less commercial agents probably in your area, and this is the reason why, is it's all kind of done behind the scenes. All the negotiating, everything's negotiable, and everything's on the table. It's not in an MLS. They have CoStar, and they also use LoopNet. And that's where you find everything. The data isn't always good. However, you reach out to a commercial agent and say, hey, I have a tenant or I have a buyer looking to buy that building. I see it's asking $2.5 million. What's the compensation being offered out? And the listing agent would then tell you nothing. And then you have a buyer's agency agreement with your buyer and or tenant or whoever on the buy side of commercial. And then you let them know, hey, you'd be responsible for my commission. And then it kind of just works that way. Now, in commercial, I think it's a lot easier because it's business. There's write-offs. There's so many different opportunities. When you're looking at residential real estate, it isn't that smooth because there's going to be some that offer out compensation and then some that don't. So how I kind of foresee this working is a mess as of right now, where some sellers will offer out compensation. So you'll reach out, you'll have 5 houses to show on Saturday. You'll reach out to all 5 agents. You'll schedule your appointments. You'll say which ones are offering compensation. 3 of them say we're offering 2.5%. And 2 of them say, you know what, we're not offering compensation. The buyers would have to pay you. So then you go back to the buyer. You tell the buyer, hey, these 3 are offering compensation. These 2 are not. So I completely understand if you want to go to those unrepresented. However, I can take you to these 3 because I know you don't have the money to pay for the commission on top of it. That's where things get really messy. And I've talked about this in my content plenty over the last couple of weeks. And that's what makes no sense about any of it. That's why I think the DOJ is going to weigh in and say, listen, from the start, the buyer's agent is going to have to be compensated by the buyer directly, and the seller is going to have to be compensated by the seller. They think that will lower commissions, and it certainly will. However, it's only going to lower commissions because people can't afford it, and they're going to go unrepresented, which is going to lead to 10 times more lawsuits that happen now because people are going to go into this process blind, have no representation, have a lawyer for $1,500 that does not give a crap about them, let's be honest, and then, because they're only getting $1,500, and then on top of it, that person is going to do all the jobs of which a realtor does. Never going to happen. So they're going to get terrible service. They're going to be in a process they don't understand, especially first-time buyers, and they're going to be unrepresented. So they're going to call it a win in terms of overall commissions coming down. However, I want to invite you to go to try to buy a house in Europe or Australia. I'm not saying no one owns a house there, but the process is completely different. There is no cooperation. You only have your listings, and those are the properties you show. Other than that, and the buyers are unrepresented. You represent the seller, the buyer's unrepresented. So going to try to buy a house there is a nightmare for the consumer because you got to work with 7 different agents to try to get in the door of the 7 condos or flats or houses, whatever you're looking at. It's a mess. Anybody over there always says, we love the fact that America has clear cooperation. It is an unbelievable thing for business. It literally helps people get into homes. However, we are in that post world and we may be heading to that world. So you need to prepare yourself a little bit for it. So how do you best prepare? I think there's a few really strong things that you can do over the next few months, no matter what happens, to really prepare your business. And I think you should be cognizant of who this could potentially help as well. Because I do think you should understand where the dynamics are going to be. This does help home sellers because it could take off a cost of which they get to either keep more equity, if you want to call it that, or not have to pay commission. It also helps top agents, and it helps agents with massive personal brands, which is why I'm not concerned by it. And I see so much opportunity. So here's one huge way you can start today to prepare yourself. And I talked about this in August of 2023, guys. It was one of my early videos that went viral on my agent-facing account on TikTok. And I said, if this goes through, you are going to need a personal brand more than ever. Because think about it, if you're relying on Zillow leads right now, if you're relying on Realtor.com leads, if you're relying on all these buyer leads, right, it is going to be very hard in a world where you need to have an agreement to go show houses. Now, Zillow is going to say they're going to automate this process to go see what's his name house. They're going to send in a document to be e-signed. But here's what I really think is going to happen. The consumer is going to go, whoa, 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 whoa. I am not signing this agreement with a 2.5% commission to work with Betty Lou who I've never met, who I've never seen, I've never interviewed. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to go find myself a buyer's agent. And this is where, again, if you have a personal brand, especially a massive one, they're going to reach out to you because they're going to be watching you every damn day on social media for the last few years. And you're going to win time and time and time and time again. Because having the huge personal brand, being a huge part of the community, you are going to clean up because buyers are going to seek out the best. And the best are the people who are in front of them, entertaining them, educating them, being a present part of their life on social media. I don't care what you think about the whole situation. If you love social media, hate social media, I really could care less. The truth is, people consume it. Grab my new iPhone here. People consume it as if it's Netflix, as if it's Disney Plus, as if it's cable. We are now the new Netflix stars you see, or anybody you see on cable TV, or sports that people could be watching. They are consuming our content. And so if you build this massive personal brand, you're going to be the one who wins. That's one of the best ways you can prepare yourself. Another great way you can prepare yourself is by being a great listing agent. I built my entire business on being a listing agent. You want to know why? Because listings create opportunity. And listing agents have no problem getting compensated in this new world scenario, right? If anything, listing agents can charge a premium where sometimes maybe you were getting talked down to 4% and doing 2 and 2. Now you can say to a seller, hey, it's only going to cost you 3. Buyers agents may have to get paid by the buyers. And so now you look like a golden child making more money. And this is where a lot of people don't have the vision for what this could look like. If you have a massive personal brand and you have a massive listing-based business, you don't have to worry about a damn thing. You actually are in position to probably quadruple or 10x your business over the next 5 years by doing the same level of effort. Now, if you ramp things up, my Lord, you are going to take off. Take off. However, the agent with no personal brand, the agent who does not go after listings, the agent that relies on Zillow leads, they are going to have a really tough time. Because again, the second part of the settlement where buyers need to sign an agreement, I think is an unbelievable one. I think it's great. We've been putting that into practice for years. However, now the consumer over time, probably not this spring, probably not this summer or this fall, but come springtime of 2025, if this goes through, they're going to be educated to the fact that they have to sign an agreement with you before they start to look for a home. That's going to be great. That's going to be great. Here's why. Buyers will interview you like listings do. When you start treating, like, no one would ever list a house, right? Just say, oh, I don't care who's really my agent representing me on the sales side. I don't care whose sign is going in front. Just throw it up. Never happens. They interview 2 or 3 options. Maybe they interview a flat fee company, full service brokerage, someone in between. And they interview all these different options. And then they come to an agreement with whoever they want to hire. But they've done that process. And I think buyers are going to start to do the same. And that's why I think if you're on the listing side, you're fine. And also if you have a personal brand, you're going to be more than golden because people are going to seek you out more and more because you are the voice in their head and you're the content they are consuming every damn day. So people are going to give pause to online leads, if I'm being honest, and signing with these people to go tour homes before they even met them. And also, I think they're going to become more loyal to you because they're going to look at you and say, I'm hiring you to do this job for $1,000, $2,000, 2%, 2.5%, 3%. There's going to be tons of different models, guys. And that's where the innovation is going to come in. I'm not here to say like, oh, you should go show houses for 9 months and only make $500. F no. F no. However, your opportunity will be to actually sit in front of someone, and we have this. We have a 38 bullet point of exactly what we do from before we start working, like really start working with you, to all the way after closing of what we do to help a buyer. Do you have that in your business? If not, maybe you should be a part of our coaching family because everyone has access to this stuff. And this is what we preach. And this is stuff we've worked on for years. And now it's becoming mandatory, which is not a bit. I think it's a great thing. And the reason being, I also think it's a great thing is because many won't adapt to that. There's a huge portion of our entire business. The average agent here in New Jersey is 62 years old. The average agent. I'm a real estate broker with 16 years experience. I own a company. and I'm the average agent of the average agent's child. So I see a massive amount of opportunity in the next 10 to 15 years. And you should, especially if you're a little bit younger, you should see the same damn opportunity. Even if you're sitting here at 50 years old, stop thinking about like what tomorrow looks like or next week. Think about what 62 could look like if you build out and change your entire business over the next 10 years and you innovate. You're ahead of the game. You have a personal brand. You build a listing-based business. You have so much damn opportunity in front of you, no matter your age. And mostly because that older generation is going to phase out because they're not going to, someone who's 74 years old, I'm just being honest, guys, is not going to sit here and prioritize building a personal brand now. They're probably just going to retire. They've done well in the industry. I've said this from the beginning. With all these changes happening and how the industry is changing, it is becoming a new generation's world. So we have to step up and we have to do things differently, innovate, and then you'll be the one coming out golden. You'll have buyers that are more loyal to you. You'll have listings that pay you a premium. You'll have a personal brand where you make income in 5, 6, 7 different ways. And that is the real estate agent of the future. And I do think, as much as I'm excited about this, I do think it's going to suck for some. It's going to suck for the agents that don't want to innovate. It's going to suck for the agents that are continuing trying to find loopholes for things. So if that's you, just cut it out of your system now. No loopholes are happening. There's going to be we're going to be in like a commercial type world where we're going to have to negotiate everything, where the top agents will continue to be the top agents, or we're going to be in a world where the buyer has to pay directly and the seller has to pay directly, and that's it. And so buyers will hire you almost exactly the same listings do, and you will work still on a commission basis. We are not being replaced by technology. Anybody that's done this business for a year, at least, even just a couple months, knows that technology cannot replace the amount of emotion that goes into someone's decision when they're buying or selling a house. So when you can't replicate that level of emotion, they're not going to replace us. Technology is not going to replace us. There's so much opportunity. However, I do think a lot of agents are going to get out of the business. If you look at the commercial world, at least around here, there's a lot of buildings, there's a lot of strip malls, there's a lot of different mixed use, new construction, commercial. There's maybe 7 agents, maybe. And about 3 of them do almost all of the business. So that may scare you a little bit. Now, there's a lot more transactions in residential. However, there might not only be 50 agents in your market 5 years from now. However, if you're one of those 50, you are going to absolutely clean up. And you're going to have a great life. So be motivated by change. Realize that it's going to hurt some people, and a lot of people are probably going to get out of the business. And that's okay. That's real. If you're honestly either experienced or you want to be someone who has a top business one day, there is nothing you should fear in the aspect of agents falling off. It only just improves your market share. It's sad that I know a lot of agents, I know a lot of personally, that may not adapt with the changes, and they'll be out of business, at least out of this business, and they'll be going and get another job, and that's okay. I don't want that for you. If you're listening or watching this, I don't want that for you. I want you to innovate. I want you to change. I want you to start preparing as if this is going to happen. Listen to what your broker says to you. However, as a broker, I don't think anybody should be taking out a buyer from now on without an agreement, with some sort of minimum commission or maximum commission, depending on what's offered as of now. And come July and come post-settlement, once a judge weighs in, once DOJ weighs in, we'll see how everything shakes up. I am extremely fearful for our younger and first-time home buyers, because in a world where these gets completely separated, again, many will go to more European, Australian model where the buyers don't have representation. So when you go to buy your first house, you won't have anyone representing you. All the questions that first-time home buyers ask, even the elementary ones, they will have no one to lean on that's an expert in the field. They will get probably abused in negotiations by the listing agent. And I don't mean like abused in the sense of like physically. I just mean like good listing agents are going to pull emotional strings to get a great deal for their seller because that's who's paying them. Dual agency will probably go away. And if we're being honest, probably should. And buyers, those younger buyers are going to have a hard time buying a house, in my opinion. Anybody who's a little bit older or coming from a house, I think it's going to be a wash. Because even if they're completely separated, right, they're going to sell, they're going to save on the sale side, but then when they go to buy, they're going to pay, again, from the, they're sitting on $400,000 of equity. They're going to go and pay an agent 2.5%, so they're going to get the best of the best. So it's not, I really don't feel that it will be that bad. It's going to be a change. And I do feel for our first-time home buyers, and we're going to have to step up as an industry to help them. I don't know what that looks like right now. However, I know with how much we've innovated, how much we've changed just in the last 9 months, I know we're going to figure out a solution. I know we're going to figure out how to help them. We've been doing it since before time, since literally the last 100+ years. Real estate professionals have been helping. I could care less about the National Association of Realtors. If another association comes up, they're all going to be the exact same. However, you are a licensed real estate professional to help people buy and sell a home, and damn it, just keep doing your job, innovate, change, and you will come out on top.